Some of these topics are big and supporting standards complex. Can you show me how you go from standard to message? Well, let's dive in. I love sharing about our process for finding the right skills and activities for families, the ones that families are going to love doing, and the ones that we know will set families up for success. So, in every message set we write, we always start with a what. We ask ourselves, what is a skill that a parent or caregiver can help their child build at home? Now, when we sketch out our curricular sequence for each program, we are super choosy. We know parents and caregivers are extremely busy. We want to make sure we are not overwhelming them. We want to make sure we are choosing skills that are foundational. And we want to make sure we are choosing skills that a parent or caregiver is really well positioned to build at home. So we start by digging into the standards and by diving into age-specific child development information. Next, we take all of those skills through the ringer. We ask a set of guiding questions to make sure the skill is the right match for a busy family. So we ask ourselves questions like, do families have everything they need to support this skill? Do they have the background knowledge? So if we suspect some families might not, we ask, can we provide further scaffolding within the message, or do we need to message on a more foundational skill first? Right? It is so key that we build new skills on top of known skills. This way, the support we send feels good, it feels doable for families, and most importantly, it is strength-based. So now that we've settled on that all-important what, we look to a why. Why is this skill important? Okay, and not to us as educators, but to a family. And we ask this because a huge part of reaching and engaging families is letting them know why that thing is so important. What will they get out of it? What will their child get out of it? How will it make their life even better? Now, the next thing we want to do, and we do this in each of our messages, is we give families a how. How can a family build this skill? And we have lots of rules for this how, right? It always has to be linked to a daily moment or routine, and it can only use the items families would typically have right at their fingertips. Additionally, we scaffold with as much support as possible, offering language, examples, sometimes even answers. And this is critical to creating a strength-based resource, because what makes something strength-based is that it gives you that can-do feeling, right? We need parents and caregivers reading that activity and thinking, oh, no problem, I can do that. So we give quarterly surveys, and after a recent quarterly survey, a parent responded to the question, how do Ready4K texts compare to other parenting information you receive? And I love this response. They said, great, short and sweet, and provide very practical tools to try at home. I love these messages. The suggested language to use is super helpful. Oftentimes one is told, encourage participation, but not told the how to do that in real life. What words do I use, when, etc. These messages do all of this well. So let's see how it all comes together. We are going to go from standard to message together. And this is a great first one. It's from kindergarten. Isolate and pronounce the initial, medium vowel, and final sounds phonemes in 3 phoneme, consonant, vowel, consonant, or CVC words. This does not include CVCs ending with l, or x. Imagine for a moment how you might try to explain this one to families. So here is the message that we did create to support it. Fact: learning to sound out simple words like cat, dog, mat, and run is key in reading. Sounding out short words helps kids read big words later. Tip: on a walk, point out a dog that you see. Can you say the sounds in dog together? D, a, g. Now try it with cat. K, at. and pig. P-ik. Growth. Keep saying the sounds in 3-letter words to build reading skills. Now sound out things you see at home. Try bed. B-e-d. Pan. P-a-n. Or tub. T-a-b. So let's break this down, right? The what and the why can be found right in the fact. Sounding out simple CVC words is a skill families are really well positioned to support at home. Supporting your child's reading skills is a compelling why, and doing it in a fun way that builds an early love of reading is great too. And the how? The tip lets families know you can strengthen the skill while you are taking a walk with your child. In both the tip and the growth, we supply a few common words for families to use, and we scaffold the skill a little bit further by visually demonstrating the CVC breakdown in the written message. Let's try another one. This one is for a math standard, and it's a good one from grade 3. Understanding a fraction 1 over b has a quantity formed by one part when a whole is partitioned into b equal parts. Understand a fraction a over b has the quantity formed by a parts of size 1 over b. Phew, fractions can feel challenging. We've actually had people share that just the idea of fractions makes them feel nauseous, and we cannot have that. So let's listen to the message. Fact, we use fractions daily like when we cook. Understanding that fractions are a number that shows a part of a whole helps kids thrive in math and science. Tip, ask your child to be your recipe helper as you cook. Can they read the recipe to you and then measure out ingredients like a half a cup of milk? Growth, keep discovering fractions. Now ask your child to help you double a recipe. Say, what's half a cup plus another half a cup? It's 1 cup. So we use the fact to describe the what, working with fractions, and the why. Understanding fractions is key to doing well in math and science, right? That's a 2 for 1. It is also a great example of a complex standard that once dialed back offers lots of opportunities for parents and caregivers to engage with their child to strengthen their understanding of the concept, right? Our job is to create an engaging, meaningful moment around fractions. The tip and the growth detail the how, right in that everyday moment of preparing a meal. And this message also highlights the importance of that can-do feeling. We know from feedback that math can be overwhelming. It can even cause anxiety. So setting up this can-do moment around fractions not only offers an opportunity to practice a key skill and relate a math concept to the real world, but it also gives many parents and caregivers the confidence to continue to engage with math, and that is critical. Let's look at one more. This one is from our middle school program, and it hones in on executive function skills. So executive function, the group of complex mental processes and cognitive abilities such as working memory, impulse inhibition, and reasoning that can control the skills such as organizing tasks, remembering details, managing time, and solving problems required for goal-directed behavior. Executive functioning is complex. And while most states don't have a standard for executive function skills, we know in the world of education that these skills are integral to a child thriving in and out of school. So here's the message. Fact, in middle school, students are asked to take on more tasks and do them independently. Success starts with managing the time it takes to get it all done. Tip, next time your child has lots to do, help them make a plan. Ask, what do you need to do? How long do you think each thing will take? Write it all down. Growth, check in with your child. Were they able to get all their tasks done? Did it take more or less time than they thought? Talk together about why. Right, there is that fact with the what. Getting students to manage their own task and the time it takes to get it done. And the why? Oh, independence and work completion, a compelling reason for most parents and caregivers. And maybe you are a middle school parent like me and have some knowledge and experience that this skill is key, and one that does require lots of practice. And then we focus on that tip and growth, and we see the how, right in that moment of the child having lots to do, which often means a moment of stress or overwhelm. We further scaffold by offering check-in questions as well. So what I also really love about this message is that it gives parents a concrete strategy to use during a moment of stress. When parents and caregivers have really doable strategies they can pull from, right, in those moments of stress, they feel more ready to take on these normal but very real moments of stress with their child.